Hi, this is Freak from Yak, aka Dave. Um, Today I'm going to show you how to add effects to an app, I guess. Specifically, I'm going to make running a mascara come down this girl's face. I did this picture yesterday, and I just started making it a tutorial. I'll show you what I did. There was the app there, and it ended up looking like this with the mascara coming down her face, which I thought looked pretty cool. And I know a lot of people in Yak chat probably do not know how to do this effect, so I just thought I'd do a quick recording of myself doing it. So, anyways, it may not turn out the same because but anyways, this is that to start with, and like always, the first thing I'm going to do is make a copy of it. And then I'm not going to fuss around with the color because that's not the point of the tutorial. But anyways, I'm going to just do a gradient map to do it quickly, I guess. So there's my gradient map, and it's close enough. I like using gradient maps too, just because you get a little bit more warmth in the. Like, this color is like way off of face tone, but you get more, I don't know, warms and cools in how it wraps around the blacks and whites of the avatar. I find, anyways. But anyways, let's just do this quickly. So I'll get rid of all this. That's my gradient map. It's probably a little bit too strong, so I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. Something like that. Merge it down. Make another copy as always. I'm going to go to color here and make sure my things on black and white. Grab my paintbrush, it's on color 100%. And see the whites of the eyes, and it's going to bring the whites back. And you can paint either white or you can paint it black, it doesn't matter. It'll just come back as the same color as the normal, as the black and white image was. So I'm going to do these fingernails here. I need a shade, maybe make it like a red, kind of like pink red, something like that maybe. And bring it down to about 40%, something like that. I find that usually works. I'm going to hold down my Alt key to and press down the right mouse button to increase or decrease my my brush by going left and right with my mouse while holding the Alt key down. And if you go up and down, you can control how your the softness is with your brush. Also holding the Alt key down on your keyboard while you do it. But anyways, so I'm just going to make this a little bit softer, a little bit that size. And then I'm going to come in here and paint the lips. And of course, he has lipstick down here as well. Okay, so that's our lipstick. I'm going to go ahead and do a little softening on this. Okay, I find that's a little bit strong, so maybe bring it down a little bit to opacity. Okay, I'm merge it down. Make it a duplicate. And I don't know, I just want using a little trick, I guess. You go to select color range, and right in this area here, you can use your fuzziness. So I'm just going to affect the areas that are white here. Right, basically near the darker area. And okay, go to select, modify, and it's going to feather it out by 1 pixel, just to smooth out the edges a little bit. You hit Control H to hide your merchant ants. I'm going to go to Control U, which brings up my hue saturation, and you can see the areas it's going to affect. If you bring up your saturation, you can see the areas it's going to affect. And I'm just going to bring this down to a cooler color just to make my shadows in certain areas just give, because color in black and white, and you just want to bring some more like color into your avatar. So I'm just bringing it down. It looks a little purple. Maybe bring down the saturation a little bit. Like, be okay with that. So that really you can see the before and after, didn't really do a whole lot, but it does add a little more depth to your av and your color. And I'm doing this really fast. That's just like a really quick way just to get your image a little bit more three-dimensional. And I'll also do this one here. So I'm making another duplicate, and I'll go to image, adjust exposure, and I'm going to make it extremely white. Oops, I forgot to take my, I'm going to hit Control D, which gets rid of my selection that I had. And then I'm going to go back to image, adjust. Where was it? Exposure, and make this whole image put a bit whiter, just like that. And I'm going to go to this layer, and I'm going to go to blending options, and I go to my blend if, which is the underlying one. And I'll bring this over, and you can see the effects, where the effects are, but it's like really kind of sharp looking. And you hold your Alt key, and you sort of separate your arrows, and that smooths out the selection. And I'm thinking somewhere like that adds to it. And I'm going to hit OK. And you can see what we did here. Like, that's the before and that's after. And it just kind of popped the highlights a little bit to give it a little bit more depth. I don't like quite what it did to the fingers, so I'm going to add a mask to that layer. Make sure it's on black. So I'm just taking away from the area on the finger so it doesn't white the fingers out completely. You probably might not even notice on the video, but I do in Adobe itself. And then I'm going to bring it down here again, make a copy, maybe smooth out the skin again, just blur out. This is actually, what's it called, a blur tool? Yeah, blur tool. So I'm just, yeah, just smoothing out the skin to bear with me here. Let's see, I'm using details in the lips, and this, instead of using a filter and masking, I'm just going to use this sharpen tool, which is the same areas where the bluer tool was, and it's going to hit it on our lips a little bit to give them a little more sharpness, and maybe around the eye. Let's here, bottom of the nostril sometimes, just to sharpen up certain areas. Alright, and then I'm going to go down here, make another layer. We're going to go Control B, which brings up my color balance. And in shadows, I'm going to make it more cool colors. Like this, and the highlights, I'm going to make a little bit more yellow. And then the mid-tones, you just sort of like play, like that's blue, and that's red. And just go back and forth till you get kind of similar to where you like. And green, and purple, that's too green, somewhere there. Yellow, some purple, and that's yellow. And you just go back and forth till you kind of narrow in the color tone that you like. So I'm going to say somewhere around there. So that's basically just quick coloring of the av. Now we're going to get to the fun part, which was the mascara. And what I did for that is I just went to my Google search and I did messy mascara, and I came up with a bunch of images here and there. You can use like any one of them. It works the same way. If you like this, the way the mascara is masked there, or maybe the long one here. eye stock logos in there. Like this one would have been good. This one maybe not quite as good. This one probably would have worked out as well. So there's a bunch of them, but I decided to go with this one, and I just right click and go um, copy image. And you go back here to your Photoshop, and you go Control V to paste it in, Control T for transformation, and I just grab these by the edges while holding my my Shift key, and I kind of bring it down so this mascara is pretty much the same size as her eye, right? Because that's what we're going to use it with, is their eye. So it's more or less the same size. I'm just going to bring it up so I can get all of the drip in and set it. So now it's set. And basically you go Control T again and just over here to their side. And this bring the opacity a little bit so we can see the eye underneath. So our head's a little bit generally Control T, and we're just going to tilt it a little bit to make it go with her face just a little bit more. And it's going to line it up with her, like you can see the eye here. You want to get it so it's more or less the same area as the eye below it. Hit there, bring it back to your 100% again. How come it's no, because I used to film. Okay, and then you can go here and go to darken, and it only shows the areas on that are darker on layer 2 versus the layer below it. You should probably make another copy of this layer 2. Actually, we'll write it. So now we're only concentrating on the drip here around. So you're going to make a mask, and basically just get rid of all this other stuff. Do 100%. So I'm just going around and trying to get as close to the edge so I can get most of the original image in. Going around the right. Let's make a copy of this so we can use it for the other side later on. And just turn it off. I'm working on this layer. You go smaller, you can sort of get just want to get as close as you can. So it's just our mascara, our image showing through. So I think that's pretty good. Oops. Yeah, more or less. And so tilt it down a little bit more. Okay, so that's basically how to get the mascara on, and you can just go over to the layer where it is and turn it off, and you can see if there's any artifacts showing up in places where they shouldn't. And it's up to you. You can either keep this little dot there or not. You have your own layer, so it's not like you haven't destroyed the layer below it at all. You can just turn it on and off and figure out where it is, and I think it sits pretty good. Actually, let's get rid of this one. I'll make another copy. And now we go Control T and bring that layer over here so we can do the other eye. And see how it's going this way. Like if you follow gravity, it would be falling a little bit more down. Maybe you can make it a little bit just to make it slightly different than the one on the right. And clip it there and doing the same thing. Hit the mask and you can turn it off and on. You can see all the artifacts that I have right here. So we're just going to make sure this is hit. You can see the highlights, how that's going to be the image itself, and that's just the mask. So you want it on the mask. And you just come in here, you just get rid of all the, probably wouldn't be on the finger like that. And you just get rid of all, and that's basically all you do. I'm going to get rid of this. You can see there's a little artifact right there when you turn it off right on the forehead from the image. So you can get rid of that as well. And then you just, that's pretty much the image there. Now you can just merge all these layers and add a little more filters to, like, it's a little bit blurred. I would sharpen it up a little bit to make it a little bit sharper. Actually, you can just sharpen it up right here, right on the image itself, and this, yeah, maybe this one here. Here I'm going to go and use my burn tool, and then it's going to make it a little bit smaller just to hit some, oops, not burn tool, I'm sorry, I want dodge. So my dodge tool, make my brush smaller, and it's going to hit some areas on the lips to make them a little bit more glossy and shiny. With that one, Control Z it. And that's basically, yeah, that's how I do the mascara look, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good the second time too. It's not too bad. And I'm just going to go back here and add my tag to it. Control copy, come back to this one, Control V, Control T, move it around to where I think it is. Control U, just slide my sliders, find what color looks appropriate, right? You know, there's a color for lipstick somewhere. Maybe bring it down a touch. And okay. And that's it for this tutorial, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.